Hello, welcome to a live stream edition of Locked On Sharks. I'm JD Young, one half of the Content Boys. Kyle is running errands and doing Kyle stuff. So yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the Lightning game, just because we didn't get to preview it much on Friday. Just because we got into a big debate on if the Sharks should actually make the playoffs. So go listen to that if you haven't. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, you really should, because the comments section yesterday was great. So make sure you're doing that. But big test tonight for the Sharks, where especially now Erik Karlsson's going to be out. It looks like he's going to be day to day right now per the Sharks, which usually means who knows how long whenever you hear that from the Sharks. So yeah, it's going to be a tough test for the Sharks tonight, especially with Tampa. I mean, this is the second night of a back-to-back for them, but Tampa is really good at hockey. You can look over the past couple of years, and that's pretty easy to tell that Tampa is very good at hockey. So, going to be a tough matchup for them tonight. But I think with Tampa coming off the second night of a back-to-back, they just got shellacked last night against the Ducks. And they might have a chance here, especially if Tampa is going to be looking forward to maybe heading home after this and wanting to get ready to enjoy the rest get ready to enjoy some time off. So but thanks Berserker for working to confirm. But so I think the big thing for the Sharks tonight is they need to try to kind of get out fast here against the Lightning, especially a Lightning team who, like I said, they played yesterday. They're probably tired. They're probably ready to go home after being on a bit of a road trip here. So if they can get out fast and maybe kind of put it to them the way that they played against the Rangers and the way they played against the Penguins, I think they've got a chance tonight to win. So big thing for the Sharks is they switch up the lines here with now having Barabanov with Couture and then putting Dahlin up there with Timo and Hurdle. Hopefully to try to balance the lines a little bit, especially because the Sharks have been such a one-line team. We talked about extensively yesterday about how much this team's been a one-line team, and if that being a one-line team can actually take them anywhere. But I think with giving Dahlin a chance to kind of get going, especially with two guys who are clicking right now in Meyer and Hurdle, and then giving Couture a little bit of help in Barabanov, I think this is because especially with how deep the Lightning are, it sucks not to have that super line, but I think your best bet is to try to spread out the scoring some more, and then hopefully when Balcers gets out, you can bump Gregor down to the third line, and then have a Balcers Barabanov Couture line there that would I think work out really well. And then Gregor, who I think is not good enough to be a top six guy, but I think he's a really solid third line guy. And then Cogliano can go down to the fourth line, and people can kind of fit in their roles a little bit better. So yeah, I think the lines are going to be a little. I think we're getting close to being to them. So, but I'm really interested to see how Merkley plays tonight, especially. Yes, bring back Leonard just for the vibes. Wouldn't be bad. I think John Leonard does need to. If things continue the way they are, I wouldn't be surprised if John Leonard maybe gets a little bit more run here. But I want to back to Ryan Merkley though. I really want to see how Ryan Merkley plays tonight. He's going to get an elevated role, especially with Erik Karlsson out. And I thought he's played well the past couple games, but he's been kind of not as. You've seen the flashes, but you haven't seen the consistency with him. And I think tonight's a really big night for him to try to, maybe get some of that consistency going, because he's going to be getting more ice time. That's just a matter of fact. I know Burns and Ferraro are probably going to be closer to the 25, 28 minutes, but Merkley is, just by default, he's going to be getting more than the 15 minutes. So I think I want to see what he's able to do with it, especially against a really good team. So, but I think the big key for the Sharks tonight is, like I said, try to get up early, try to kind of take it to them a little bit, especially against a team that just played last game of a road trip. The Lightning probably want to head home. And to be honest, for the Lightning, these regular season games don't matter as much for them. their whole goal is to win a Stanley Cup, and they just want to make sure that they're healthy and ready for the playoffs. So you could see a night like tonight where if they just don't have it early and they're just like, guys, we got some time off after this. We're going home. Let's not worry about it tonight. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer them. So, but yeah, James Reimer's back to starting tonight. So I kind of like going back to the Hill Reimer, one off, like kind of taking turns here, just because each guy has been getting streaks of like 4 or 5 games, especially with Reimer being injured and then Hill kind of struggling through stuff. But I think especially with Reimer being a little bit older, and Hill's played a lot better recently. I would like to continue this like 1 or 2 games and then like continually rotating them just to keep the guys fresh, and that way you're not trying to run down. So, and especially so I expect Reimer to have a bounce back night. So he looked pretty decent against the Kings, especially after coming off his injury. But I'd like to see Reimer kind of a big night tonight. So earlier in the season, you predicted Merkley would join the team around Christmas and stick. This is from Berserker. When will you start bragging about being right? We have never bragged about ever being right about anything as a podcast that has self-proclaimed saved the franchise. But no, I mean, I think it's the right move where, Merkley, we've talked about this before, where all 3 of those defensemen aren't going anywhere, right? Brent Burns is here for the next 4 years. Erik Karlsson's here until the sun burns down. And Ryan Merkley, you spent a first-round draft pick on him. Like, you just got to play him. So Jameson, what do you think of Dahlin moving up to Barabanov's spot on the first line? I like it. Like Dahlin, he's definitely struggled recently. Shang put out an article, was kind of highlighted some of the troubles that those guys have had, and he's got 1 goal in the last 25 games. And I think if you can't score with Timo and Hertl, who are on fire right now, or at least produce, then we have bigger issues. And I know he's had COVID and he had an injury, like the shoulder injury and stuff, and he's working through that. But I think it's good to see Bob, instead of shoving him down, maybe like instead of like putting him on the third line or something like that, like put him with guy, maybe mix up the chemistry with other top guys to see if you can find something there. And then Barabanov, who's been playing really great, I think putting him with Couture, that way you don't have a line of just struggling guys. At least Barabanov kind of brings some more energy, and we've seen Barabanov be able to do a great job of finding open guys, and Couture, as he can get into an open slot, and we've seen Couture do that. And I think I wouldn't be shocked tonight if we see a nice Barabanov feed to Couture, and if Couture can maybe put one home. So I really like that. So can Eklund come back if we make the playoffs without wasting a year on his entry level? I believe he can. Don't quote me on this, just because like the playoffs are it's like that black ace thing or whatever, where since the playoffs are their own thing. So I mean, that would be great to get Eklund back here, and especially because Drew Garden has been bad and stuff, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's still a while away. So couple more minutes before the game starts. Let me get a prediction. I'm gonna say 4-3 Sharks. Actually, I think the Lightning, like I said, they played terrible yesterday against the Ducks. They're probably tired. They want to go home. It's and I think the Sharks, they've played really well recently. We saw it in the Seattle game where they just came out and kind of laid the wood the first period, and then kind of sat back, and like they've played really well against Pittsburgh last Saturday. They played really well against the Rangers last week. They actually got outplayed by the Kings, but but Timo decided to go nuclear. But I think they're playing better, and that's been the whole thing with Kyle and I, where it's like process over results, right? And I think their process has been a lot better recently. They're just not getting the results that they want. So I expect them to continue to play well tonight, and I think we see a game where stuff comes together. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some more of that secondary scoring. So James says I think a 4-3 OT Tampa win, or Tampa wins in OT, but it'll be a good game. I would be perfectly happy with that. I mean, it'd be frustrating to lose in overtime, but if they're going toe to toe with the two-time defending champions and they get a point out of it, that's not bad. So, who do you predict will fight first, Veal or Raska? I think they both fight somebody at the same time. It's like a nice 2-on-1 situation. That would be great. So, but probably Veal though. Veal's been the fighter, so I predict Veal. I don't know who Tampa has on their team that fights anymore, and especially since like Merkley Goodrow's not there anymore. So actually, no, I don't think anybody fights tonight, just because I don't know if Tampa has anybody to fight. So especially because they're really shorthanded right now. RM Lowry, I predict Merkley gets at least a point. Yeah, he better. Tonight's a perfect night, so especially because he's going to be running that power play 2 unit, which is between, I think it's like Benino, Weatherby, Dahlin, Barabanov, and Merkley. But yeah, I mean, I think Merkley playing well tonight, it would be nice for him, especially because he's been kind of quieter lately. So I'm a techno thriller junkie, and I want to know, is the B2 bomber more detectable when it rains? Sure, why not? Maybe when it rains bombs, it's detected there, but then it's too late. So my question is directed to Maya Angelou. I will let her know. So yeah. So also, I know the Niners are playing right now. Poor Niners. They should have started Trey Lance a long time ago, and they wouldn't be in this situation. But anyway, that's for another day. So that's gonna do it for me. We're gonna try to do some of these little live stream stuff before games, especially weekend games and stuff like that more often. So if you guys haven't subscribed, please do so. You can do that wherever. You can do it on YouTube at Locked On Sharks, that's where you're watching it right now. You can also listen to us at Locked On Sharks wherever you get your podcasts. You can find me on Twitter at MyFryhole, Locked On Sharks, where I'll be manning it tonight. I'll probably be manning the Twitter tonight on playing Halo. We'll see how I feel. So, and then also Facebook, Instagram as well. And make sure, if you haven't, leave us a nice 5-star review. So it makes us feel good. So we will be back Monday, where we'll have a breakdown of this game. And then on Tuesday, we're going to dig into the potential Tomas Hertl trade and what that could look like and who we would want to center packages around. So I have done a lot of hard work on this one. It's going to be a very good YouTube episode. So make sure you guys check that out on Tuesday. So enjoy the game. Go Sharks.